This next story is about the greatest, in many people's opinion, NBA player of all time, Mr. Michael Jordan, and apparently his cheap ass.
He's the greatest basketball player of all time, but that's still not gonna stop me from giving them these 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 fucking slaps.
So apparently, the reason that we're bringing this up is because there's this co-host of a podcast called Lip Service with Angela Yee. The co-host name is Gigi McGuire, and she's a previous stripper. And she actually worked at a facility that Michael Jordan,
Freak with it.
yeah, he frequented it there several times. And apparently, she mentioned her experience with him and him being cheap. And actually, she used to make about 30K, off of tips, obviously. Well, when Michael Jordan was there, he would
Well, hold
tip
on. She made 30K in 28 minutes.
in 28 minutes. You're correct. During Legends Ball. Well, apparently, when Michael Jordan would attend, he his tips were $2 to $3.
I hope she's lying. I hope to God she's lying because I'm not a strip club guy, but the fact that this man, I mean, I've been to strip clubs, but the fact that this man is multi-millionaire, now multi-billionaire because he sold his stake in the Charlotte Hornets last week and made $3.5 billion off of it,
Wow.
something like that. And how the fuck do you go to a strip club and tip these women $2 to $3? That sounds crazy. That sounds like something that I would do.
Bro, the average person gives even homeless people more than $2 to $3.
I think
Like you're going to a strip club. Um, Hell, there's fucking people that live paycheck to paycheck that drop about $200 a night at a strip club paying these strippers.
exactly.
So for this man, and you did mention he's a billionaire now, but at the time that he visited this establishment that Gigi McGuire was a stripper at, he was a multimillionaire. Even then, like to pay $2 to $3, like that's crazy. He's putting that's a whole different kind of cheap.
Yeah, he's a cheap ass guy. And you talked about people who work a 9 to 5 job that would tip even more. I have a story. There was a guy that I worked with long time ago. I'm not gonna mention his name, but we worked together and we got paid. And we wasn't making much money. I think I was 19, 20 years old. So we are making about $200 to $300 a week. And he asked me to take him to a strip club. I take him to the strip club. First of all, I take him to the check cashing place, and it's good. I've taken him to the check cashing place, and he cashes his check. I take him to the strip club, and I said, "Man, are you sure you want to stay here?" He says, "Yes." He asked me if I want to come. Nope, I have better things to do with my money. So Monday morning, I get back to work, and this guy has blew his entire check on these strippers. He said he lost track of time. He forgot what songs that were playing. And every time you're in that private room and they start doing certain things, you gotta keep paying per song. And that shit could be like as much as $20 to $25, maybe $30 a song.
Wow.
So he blew all of his money. And to make a long story short, his girlfriend or wife at the time got upset. She asked him where the money was. They needed to pay bills. And when I walked in there that Monday morning, he looked like shit. He looked like a truck had hit him. But back to Michael Jordan. If this guy can blow $300 in a strip club and he's living paycheck to paycheck, and you're a multi-millionaire, now multi-billionaire, you tipping $2 to $3, bro. You know,
Like, why even bother going?
Exactly.
Why even bother going?
Exactly.
It's kind of like us, we decide let's go out to dinner or let's go out to a bar and have some drinks. If we're not going to budget the tip into our night, we're not even going to go. So why even bother going to a strip club if you know you're not going to budget for tips.
It's not budgeting
It's a freaking
it's not,
strip club.
right. It's not budgeting for Michael Jordan. If he tipped $1 million, it wouldn't put a dent in his pocket. And like that fucking documentary that he did, The Last Dance, that came out during the pandemic, and it really reveals who Michael Jordan really was. This guy is just not a decent person. It seems like he doesn't have any regard for anyone else's feelings besides people that are a part of his club, people that are a part of the elite basketball, group. That's who he associates with. That's who he cares about. Anybody outside that, he does not give a damn about. It was a story that Charles Barkley said about him, that they were driving and there was a homeless guy. Charles Barkley gave him some money, and Michael Jordan got upset and said, that guy needs to go get a job. Why is he begging for money? Bro, how would it hurt you to give that guy $3? That's what you tip at the titty bar. So why can't you even tip that to a homeless guy? And after The Last Dance came out, it just seems like it just gave me a different perspective on this guy. Personally, I don't know him personally, but just really extrapolating his personal life from what he did on the court, you just say this guy is a piece of shit. Because on the court, he's still to this day, in any sport, he's my favorite athlete of all time. Favorite of all time. But I can compartmentalize and say he's my favorite athlete of all time, but he might be a really crappy person over here where he doesn't give a damn about no one. You remember one part of the documentary on The Last Dance? He got mad at Horace Grant because he didn't play well.
He didn't let him eat on the
plane.
He
told the stewardess, the flight attendant, not to feed this man. He said he didn't play good enough. Don't feed this man. And Horace Grant is 6'10". Michael Jordan is 6'6". And he was so intimidated by this man that he just allowed himself to be hungry. But the character of this guy, I've never heard anyone say anything good about his character. They always mention him in the basketball context. When Kobe Bryant died, people were crying, myself included. People cared about him. He was helping the younger players develop their game. He was doing everything he could. Yes, he was mentoring his daughter's team. This guy was doing everything he could to elevate people. And Jordan, it seems like he does everything to tear people down. And, one day, hopefully it's a long time from now, but when he passes away, nobody's going to give a damn. I'm just going to relive his basketball career and be like, that's it. Because everything else I've heard about you outside of that is not good.
I think, yeah, absolutely. I think you bring a good point. God bless him. I hope that, he lives a longer life. But, yeah, you're right. Everyone will be like he was the best NBA player of all time, but he was a shitty human being.
You remember that story from Chameleonaire? There's a clip on YouTube. There's a clip on YouTube. If anybody wants to see it, you can find it and just Google or just type in Chameleonaire versus Michael Jordan. So Chameleonaire paid all of this money to get a Michael Jordan jersey or some shoes or whatever, but it led to like meeting him and going to this function that Michael Jordan was with. And he gets to Michael Jordan and he's like, man, I just paid all this money. I'm going to meet my idol. This is going to be the greatest thing ever, man. I'm going to meet this guy. Who doesn't want to meet Michael Jordan, And this Chameleonaire grew up in poverty, and now watching Michael Jordan on TV, now he's able to be in his presence. He gets to Michael Jordan and he asks him to sign whatever, thing that he had. And Michael Jordan looked at him and said, I'm not signing that for no niggas. That's exactly what he said. He was only doing signings for females. So Chameleonaire is like steaming red. He's like, I just want to fire on this fool. He just heated. You paid all that money and this guy dish you like that. He's just known for being a crappy person. And every time, you remember that one story in The Last Dance where they were asking him to speak out against some legislation or speak out against a particular politician, Jesse Helms. He was a racist guy from one of the Carolinas, South Carolina, North Carolina. They were asking him to speak out against him. Mm-hmm. And Michael Jordan made a quote or said a quote saying that Republicans buy sneakers too. And that pissed a lot of people off. Now he's saying that he said it in jest, but knowing Michael Jordan, he meant that shit. He wasn't trying to stop his shoe sales. He is just one of the worst superstars, personally that you can think of.
I think
I don't ever want to meet this guy because it's going to taint my view of him. It's already tainted, but to actually meet him in person,
I
no.
think he just lacks empathy. And it's a shame because he didn't grow up rich.
No.
So for him not to have a heart and for him not to have empathy, it's a really sad thing. It really is sad because he's an idol to so many people. And then, just like your example of Chameleonaire, I mean, it's a shame, you have people like him that idolize this man. And the first opportunity that he got, like, he's like, okay, I finally am making some good money. And what? I have the opportunity of meeting my idol and having him sign and autograph a jersey. And then, not to mention, you have to wait.
Right.
Because you have to wait in line because there's a lot of other people in front of you that also paid money to have things autographed by him and to meet him. And then it's finally your turn. And then you go to meet him and you're like, I love you. You're the greatest. Sign this. No, fuck you. I'm not signing that. Get out of here.
No, he said, I ain't signing this for no niggas.
Oh my gosh. I to be honest, I give Chameleonaire a lot of credit because I would have cussed him out. I would have spit on him. I would have fucking wilded out.
He should have. I know he tried to be professional, but he should have went into nigga mode.
Yeah.
And started slapping the shit out of him. You want to call me that? All right. I'm going to treat you like we would treat you in the hood. You say some bullshit like that, you little bitch. That shit would have pissed me off, man. And hearing stories about this guy, there's no pleasant stories about this man.
Yeah.
It's just like he is just one of the worst superstars. Even Tom Brady. I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but even Tom Brady has praise from his teammates. No one has anybody who's played with him besides Antonio Brown has nothing bad to say about this guy. It just shows you the type of person he is. Michael Jordan is just on a different level of insane self-absorption. Like, it's all about him. Who wouldn't want to be around Michael Jordan? Like, dude, relax. You're still a human being. You're the greatest basketball player of all time. You're one of the richest men in the world. You have the most recognizable face in the world. Your shoes are selling like crazy every single year since 1984 when you got into the league. There's a movie that they made about him that Ben Affleck is in. Came out a couple of weeks ago.
I haven't seen it,
I think it's called Air.
Yeah.
And just based on the bullshit that this man has said to people, it makes me not want to watch it. But I'm still fascinated by who he is. The fact that he was so driven to become the best when he wasn't projected to be the best player. He wasn't even the number one overall pick. He didn't have the pressure that LeBron did when coming into the league. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he elevated himself to that status to be considered the greatest player of all time, I respect that. But once you try being a decent person, one of the most decent people of all time, instead of this douchebag person that everyone knows you to be in your private circle. So, fuck Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't buy your shoes, because you don't do anything for anyone else. I love the way the Jordans look. I go out of my way not to buy these shoes. I had them when I was a kid. I had one pair, and I loved them. Those are the ones that I forgot what number that is, but it came out in the early 90s. Man, I love those. They still make them. I want them.
Yeah.
But I can't, because
you
this
can't
fucking
support
when he
anyone
dies,
that you
maybe
don't-
I'll buy it.
No, because then they really jack up the price, and no.
I've been resisting temptation for years, over a decade, but yeah, Jordan. But I will buy some
Jordan,
Kobe's though.
You got to be a
I will
better
buy
person.
some Kobe's.